I want to thank William Longwell, he's a VP of Enterprise Transformation at Taylor Corp, and Elissa Makos, Director of PMO, overseeing the overall enterprise transformation. So as we get started, I'm going to ask Elissa to talk a little bit about Taylor, walk through what the company does, and then what the overall scope of the program has been.
Alyssa told me when I can and can't talk, so I appreciate that early. This is my ability to shine here, so I'm trying to blow it. My name is William Longwell. We're really excited to talk to you guys today about Taylor's transformation we're doing. Looking for engaging discussion, both now and then afterwards. Love to connect afterwards to questions, sharing ideas, so thank you. Maybe to make today's discussion a little bit more relatable for everybody, I'll spend a minute on what is Taylor Corporation. So Taylor Corporation is a brand and communications solutions company. Okay, so as one of the largest graphics communications companies in North America, we support about 40,000 customers. Our solution base tends to be around digital and print document management, labels and packaging, warehouse and fulfillment, and marketing solutions. We've got about 10,000 employees, about 60 locations between production facilities and warehouse and fulfillment centers. And most folks don't know what that means still, what Taylor does. So what I try to explain to folks is you can't walk down the street, or you can't go through a store, or walk through a hospital, or go through a production facility, or go anywhere. You'd be hard-pressed not to find something that digital or physical that we manufacture to help empower one of those 40,000 customers. So even at this casino today, if you valet a car, that tag, it's printed. If you checked your luggage, perhaps you're seeing a lot of signage while you're here telling you where to go, where everything is. Print is still a bit everywhere, and that's where Taylor is in helping support our customers.
Awesome. Elissa, anything to add here? So can you talk a little bit about Taylor's journey on Oracle Cloud to date?
Yeah, so we implemented Oracle Finance and EPM, and that was really the start of our transformation. That was the critical factor for us to kind of start moving forward. And so if we put this into a house analogy, which I use quite often, that was our architecture to stand up. So we built our house, and that was around October of 2024. We implemented finance, ERP, and indirect procurement, and a fast follower of EPM. Then in April, we went live with our first 2 manufacturing locations, so a quick, fast follow. Or excuse me, that was in January. We went live with 2 manufacturing, so that would, think of that as like the bedrooms, we're adding on to our house. So now that our architecture is up, we were able to now add on, and so we went live with supply chain, and 2 factories went live. Then in April, we kicked off our supply chain end-to-end, and we'll dive into that a little bit more deeper. In June, we went live with our configure price quote. And so that was really our standalone. So we stood that up, and that's really like our garage unit. It's not connected to our ERP Fusion, but it's the garage that is stood up, and we went live with CPQ connected to our legacy and third-party applications. In July, we went live with our Oracle Transportation Management, again, standalone functionality to obtain some of those benefits. And then we had a phase 2 of EPM to go live with our budgeting and planning. So we had our first budgeting cycle in the new tool for 2026, so that was really exciting for us. And in September, that allowed us to add on to that functionality. So again, looking back at the architecture of our house that we built in October of 24, this allowed us to have faster rollouts and additional functionality. We went live with additional 2 facilities, so we now have 4 manufacturing locations on, as well as cost accounting, inventory management, manufacturing, and then lease accounting as well. In March of 2026, so looking ahead, we expect to go live with our end-to-end, and so really connecting all of the pieces of our house. So CPQ, OTM, they're standalone products to reap the benefits there. We'll connect that to ERP Fusion as well as our end-to-end customers in March of 2026. So really focusing on modernizing and standing up industry-leading practice to be able to scale as we move forward.
Thank you, Elissa. Can you talk a little bit about how you've planned out your overall solution footprint?
So as William mentioned, there is a lot of complexity within Taylor. And so we had to partner with KPMG to understand, how do we go at this? What is our go live strategy when we enter the supply chain manufacturing area? And so we put together what our global design is going to look like based on manufacturing. And so you'll see on the screen 4 different primary operating models, which we call that. So Taylor has 5 enterprise groups. They all work in their silos. They all work vertically as well. And so to be able to break that down and go towards more leading practice and global standards, we wanted to find the synergies in the way we manufacture. So long run is really our long, high volume production, longer lead times, and that was our first target. So when I talked about the 4 manufacturing locations that went live, that is on our long run facilities. And that was able, we started smaller, something a little bit more obtainable so we can scale as we move forward. Short run would be our next target. So those are our quick turn cycle, our quick high seasonal volume, same day print and ship, more customized to the customer and things of that. So it's a little bit more complex. So let's get some basic foundation in and then start building more of that complexity. And then service fees and subscription. So this allowed us to look more horizontally within the landscape at Taylor and not just within those vertical pillars of going enterprise group by enterprise group.
Thank you, Alyssa. So, William, what measurable improvements have you observed in the organization in terms of efficiency or productivity since you gone live with Oracle Cloud so far?
Yeah, thank you. So we're early in our journey, as Alyssa just mentioned, but what's exciting for us is that we can see the path to what these measurable improvements are. Even if I just take a step back and look at the way the team has delivered standardization in order to be able to deploy Oracle. So the standardization led to automation. The automation is leading to efficiencies, better quality, less waste, those pieces. But we can really see a path to what I think from my perspective is exciting is we can see a path to consistent, reliable data to make the best decisions. And we were missing that. Instead of someone pulling multiple reports together and normalizing it and then arguing if it was right or not, we have real-time information that allows us to be more, faster decisions, but more confident in that decision. So we can be confident in what we're doing based on what we're seeing with our supply chain deployment of across the 4 locations already, and seeing that through some of the other modules we put together. I think, again, efficiency, the waste improvements, our total manufacturing cost, we really couldn't articulate those very well before. Now we're getting a path to where we're going to have a really clean line of sight to what those total manufacturing costs are. And then to build on that, not only will we be able to make decisions on that faster, we're also able to see the decisions we make, are they taking hold? Did that decision we expected to make, is it making a difference? Are we driving that efficiency? Are we reducing that waste? Those are the type of really metric pieces that we're starting to see even in our infancy of where we are today.
Great. And then what about your place in the marketplace, right? How does Oracle Cloud as a strategy and implementing this platform helping you with your overall business strategy and trying to be competitive in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think very similarly, what it's enabling us to do is take the house analogy that Alyssa was using. If you look across 60 locations all working independently, right, and bring those together, it's you power that with the standardization we talked about, you power that with a singular ERP view of what we're doing. It's allowed us to be more confident in what we do well. It's enabled us to identify what we don't do well. Taylor has 115 years of manufacturing experience, and you'd be amazed at how much we're learning about ourselves right now through this journey that we thought, of course, we knew because we've been doing it so long. And so taking not only a consistent and standard approach, Vivek, but then being confident in that decision is allowing us to be able to move forward both with what we acquire. So we're smarter decisions on raw material, equipment, but even acquisitions. We know how to now complement our strengths, and we know where we are not strong out, and so how do we improve those pieces? And that's really driving value through our strategic view.
That's great. Thanks, William. We'll go over to you, Alyssa. What were some of the key challenges your organization faced during this implementation?
Sure. Other than these two sitting next to me? No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to make a little fun here. So what transformation is perfect, right? I mean, I could write a book on all of our lessons learned and our challenges through our journey. I mean, it dates back to 2021, even when we were starting and looking at all of the Oracle modules we wanted to implement. The list goes on, but I think what serves Taylor the best in this space is what did we learn, and then how did we improve from there? So with our first implementation going live with supply chain, it was really around data accuracy, the conversions, making sure that we were able to look at our data early and have successful mock conversions, making sure that our data is standardized, we have a good MDM practice in place. And so a lot of challenges in that space, but we learned from it and we improved for the next rollout as well. And then I always go back to people, process, and technology. All three, there was always challenges in those. Looking at people, really change management. I mean, people are the heart of the implementation and the transformation. So ensuring that we had dedicated resources, we understand change management, we understand the change impacts, and learning from that, and then improving what we're going to do for the next rollout. So you saw on our timeline slide, we had a lot of go lives in the last 1 to 2 years, but from each of those, we were able to learn what did we do well in change management, how do we communicate, and then improve on that. Within process, I would say around the leading practice industry standards, we're not special. I mean, you talk to anybody that's going through an Oracle transformation, they think they may be special in what they're going to do, but we're not. We're not going to cut a PO differently. So making sure that we go back to leading practice, going back to industry standards and challenging ourselves to truly transform and understanding what that means for Taylor, so we can adopt to using the Oracle best practice in that area, as well as looking at the technology then. So, trying to fit some of our processes in the Oracle box didn't always work out well. So how did we look at what did make us special and how do we customize that without breaking our architecture of our house to be able to scale? So when we want to go live with our end-to-end, we need to make sure that we're still going with leading practice because we're going to scale after that and go after our next set of facilities and customers, and we need to go fast and accelerate that. But we want to make sure that we can go back to leading practice and to do that. And then also working with Oracle to product development to make sure that we can have different, we can get our ideas logged and developed for our needs and roll those out in the quarterly releases as well.
Great, thank you. So now, going forward, how do you plan to address any difficulties or areas of improvement to ensure continued success?
For this one, it's going to be around governance. So when we're looking at difficulties or areas we want to improve to continue that success, we need to make sure that we have a strong governance so we don't break our house. We're all living in one house now for Taylor, and you think about all of our manufacturing facilities around the country, we need to have strong governance processes within our implementation team, as well as what is our enhancements process, quarterly release process. So we want to make sure that that is strong and we're sticking true to our standards there. As well as looking at, well, do you have any other ideas on that one? No, that would probably be the biggest thing for there. But then looking at how do we want to scale and go faster with those areas.
Great. Thank you, Alyssa. Now, as you move forward, what key business areas are you planning to prioritize and why?
So our biggest priority is going live with our end-to-end framework in March. So that's really connecting all of those areas within Oracle, CPQ, OTM, ERP, EPM. We're going to have a full end-to-end from quote all the way through shipment, receivables, all the way to out the door. That is our first priority. And then how do we want to scale from that? So we will prioritize those pieces. We are looking at maybe, we're looking at WMS. How do we add in the WMS functionality, supply chain planning as well. But it's really foundational for Taylor to have some of these small wins so we can scale, move faster, move quicker. So we really want to look at that. And challenging Taylor to look at the business process and the requirements first, and then pick the technology. So that will be key as we move forward, because if you take on, again, too much, we're not going to make the progress that we expect. So we want to make sure we're really methodical in our approach, understanding what we did really well, our lessons learned, making improvements, and then looking at our roadmap for 2026, 2027 to be able to scale, go faster, go back to the short run business. What other areas do we want? And really for next year, it's those areas that we'll be looking into.
Great. Thank you, Alyssa. So, talking about AI, and this conference is all about AI now. So, what are your organization plans to leverage data and analytics? We heard William talk about getting better data now. How do you plan to leverage AI and analytics to help you going forward into the future?
Yeah, maybe I stick to the analytics piece for a moment. I think if I said earlier that the standardization led to automation, automation then inevitably for us led to being able to be more proactive than reactive. The consistent standard data sets allowed us that. What we can see is a clear path to getting from proactive to predictive in our analytics. And I think it's really where we're excited about what comes next. I mean, Alyssa did a great job of explaining the mass amounts of work that's been done in the last 24 months to get us to where we're going to be with a end-to-end solution to build on. But now being able to take the analytics across that and get predictive about what we're doing. And what I think we've been a bit surprised about is everybody expects that you can get predictive in your inventory levels and your raw material buying and your planning, but what you start to lose sight of is there's so many more details and data available now when you've gone through this process, so that predictive piece is really going to help us move faster and drive value faster, because these programs are super long, and so trying to get to that dollars contributed to the positive, a lot of it can be done through these analytics and opening door for us.
Great. And then one last question for you. With the integration of Oracle Cloud and AI, what future innovations or advancements do you see impacting your organization?
If I could seed this answer first before I get to the question, what you need to do is surround yourself with a great team to be able to deliver anything we're doing. Alyssa, find yourself an Alyssa and a working team to make this happen. That's the first thing you would do to impact your organization. But from an AI standpoint, we are so early in our journey. So it's very difficult. We're surrounded by AI constantly, AI investment, AI buzz, AI this. I think what we're excited about, though, is we've got the foundation part where we had to standardize and cleanse. And we had to go across from, instead of 60 different independent locations operating independently, to having the standardization, and things that the Alyssa and team implemented were huge. But what you can easily see if you take a step back is how much we'll be able to leverage that data in the future, including from an AI perspective. And so if I look at it from what excites us, there's areas of opportunity in our parts of our team already working in pricing strategies. Melissa Sutton from our team won hackathon a couple years ago on that same concept of how we apply AI to our pricing strategies. There's some excitement thing around there. I think if you look at AI powered manufacturing models, those are all exciting. They feel so far away, but then again, if I looked at it, January 2024 felt far away a long time ago too, so it'll be here before we know it. And then maybe one last piece of that too, so much about the agent and agent AI, and being able to leverage the core studio and solution that Oracle's putting out for us has been huge for us. We're not known for a technology company, we're a manufacturing company. So being able to tie into how can we leverage those tools being built by others that we can deploy ourselves. And so we started looking from an agent perspective, again, in the excitement around what may be available through CPQ and that agent, what we can do for our customer service teams, and kind of a phased approach of now with this cleansed standard data, how can we use AI to help our teams help the customer better, faster, but then how can we allow the customer to help themselves? So you can see the path. It feels like it's far away, but it'll be here before you know it, Vivek.
Thank you, William. So we'll open it out for some questions, see if anybody in the audience has any questions. Anyone?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Supply chain is a bit of a different, more spread out. It's just a different dynamic of, culturally. How did you think about that? How did you what were some early proactive steps you did, and what did you do throughout?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So her question is around how did we rally resources around the supply chain efforts? And William, you may have a different perspective or add on to this. For us, it was looking at what our project or our program, what we wanted to accomplish. And within the supply chain, it's leveraging subject matter experts who we wanted to bring into the program. Now, they weren't 100% dedicated. Obviously, they still need to be on the plant floor, but we brought them along on the journey. So we have subject matter experts, business process owners, and then global process owners. So they roll right up into the project team, and we found our change agents quickly. And so they were involved in requirement gathering, testing, all the way to training. And now we're leveraging those individuals to go to the next facility and the next facility. And it's been working out really well for us. Now, I would say it's not the silver bullet. We still have resourcing issues and concerns in that space, but we're getting better by leveraging the business. Again, it's not a technology implementation, it's business-led. So really finding the empowerment within the business and in the plant operations to come into the program with us.
Any other questions?
Piggyback off that, so sorry for the show. So when you mentioned the BPO, GPO kind of like organization, so were those existing resources that you had in the business that you just kind of placed into these roles and then kind of rolling it out to your other sites?
Yes. So our GPOs are 100% dedicated. They were pulled out of their position and we backfilled their roles. And then BPOs still do their other positions. Now, they're not 100% dedicated to the project, but they still report into the organization where the GPOs report in, not within their own business units anymore. And then subject matter experts as well report in the business. But they're dotted line into that work stream. So that way we still have that overview and connection with them all.
Any other questions? If not, William, Elissa, thank you very much for being great clients and sharing your experiences here with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. Thank you.